with Dream Maker.
Look, man, why you ain't picking up the phone, man?
Because I'm busy. What you mean?
Really, I gotta text you 10 times before you seen the message. The message said seen.
Yeah, take my phone when I would.
Really? That's where we're at right now? It might have been the Hennessy. Babe, you making up all this energy. You acting like you ain't hearing me. Don't even know who this is, show me identity. We've had some long walks. Yeah, we've had some long talks. That's why it's hard to watch. Lately it feel like we keep on falling off. Look, I don't know what your past did to you. Whatever trust that you had, you put it into it. What's the influence? You shattered and ruined. Been picking and choosing. The tension is brewing. Who winning, who losing? I think I might lose it. Trying to figure you out like in a Rubik's Cube. She ice cold. Yeah, relationship goals. Get money with bae. Maybe take a vacay in a suite and relax. We might never come back. Just be counting our stacks. Fall asleep on some racks. Sipping Henny and Jack. Know you like the sound of that. Yeah, and it's making me sad. You should never go to bed, man. Listen your laugh. You should never go to bed, man. Girl, listen your laugh. I ain't trying to go to bed, man. Look. We can't fold under pressure. Take your suitcase and put them clothes back in the dresser. Got me playing detective. You're so overprotective. Just say what's wrong. Just give me perspective. Everything we've been through. We riding this like we on cruise. You know we sneakerheads. We can escape to the mall and just collect shoes. Put your phone away. DJ Khaled said stay away from they. Yeah, stay away from they. Just keep it between us and stay away from they. What's ours is our business. We started, we finished it. Not saying I'm innocent, just rather be intimate. I'm gaining experience, maintaining the faith in us. It's crazy, the craziness. Look, you my day one. Ain't seen that pretty face all day long. And baby, we too strong. And I don't know what went wrong. If it's a test, then we gotta pass. We got that good thing that's gotta last. I don't wanna go to bed mad. Yeah. I ain't tryna go to bed mad. Yeah. I don't wanna go to bed mad. I don't wanna go to bed mad. You should never go to bed mad. I don't wanna go to bed mad. You should never go to bed mad. Girl, you should never go to bed mad. I ain't tryna go to bed mad. No, I don't wanna go to bed mad. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Girl, what are we doing? Doing. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, girl? What are we doing? Doing. What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Mr. Worldwide checking in. I just want to say, Charlie Wilson, it's a true honor. I appreciate the love. Now let's show the whole world how to have a good time.
Everybody's working hard for the weekend, then we're spending it all, yeah. When tomorrow comes, you know you can sleep in, so you know that it's on, baby. Do what you wanna do, go where you wanna go, move how you wanna move. Everybody, drink what you wanna drink, step how you wanna step, love who you wanna love. Everybody have a good time, good time, good time, a good time. Everybody have a good time, good time, good time, a good time. Everybody have a this night a night to remember. Come on, get off the wall. Get off the wall. Doing anything you want, it's your pleasure. We can go all night long, baby. Do what you wanna do. Go where you wanna go. Move how you wanna move. Everybody, everybody. Drink what you wanna drink. Step how you wanna step. Come on. Love who you wanna love. Everybody have a good time. Good time. Good time. Good time. Good time. Everybody have a good time. Good time. Good time. Good time. Good time. Everybody have a good time. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, everybody have a good time.
You can bet that this chicken right here turn you out and show you the time of your life. You can bet that I have you doing things that are wrong, making them feel right. That's right. You can bet. You just say that you won't, but you will, and I know just what you wanna feel. You can bet. How I take away that depression with sweet lust, hot passion, and deep pressure. I'm a good time, girl. You can bet that. Little thing between I'ma whip that. No, I won't sweat that, but I get that. Matter of fact, lay back, let me lick that. Let me play with that. Mama, there's no point, don't fight the feeling. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a little sinning. You can't change or play a game in the ninth inning.
Good time, good time, a good time. Everybody have a good time, good time, good time, a good time. Everybody have a good time. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, everybody have a good time.
We going out, we going out tonight, out on the town, out on the town. It's just me and my girlfriend, yeah. Out on the town, oh yeah, and we going out.
Tonight's the big night. Wear that dress I like. I'ma clean up for you, I'ma get right. I made some reservations, the proper preparations to quench your thirst, lavish living and expensive tasting. Dinner with you, a spa for two, and after that we can hit the room and do the do. Haha, you love my humor, don't you? You smell that marijuana. Let's get ghosts and go with it when you wanna.
We going out tonight, out on the town, out on the town. It's just me and my girlfriend, yeah. Out on the town, oh yeah, and we going out.
Damn, look at you. You're so beautiful. Lovers lane doing things that the couples do. Yeah, I rock the few. Yeah, I drop the few. But for some strange reason, ma, I rock with you. You so sexy with your heels and your Becky's. All you gotta do is trust me. I'll be gentle if you let me on. Tonight's the night we get it right. No fuss and fight. Cut the phones off, so let's take flight.
We going out tonight, out on the town, out on the town. It's just me and my girlfriend, yeah. Out on the town, oh yeah, and we going out, yeah.
connection because you're my everything. You're my everything.
WODU is the heartbeat of Old Dominion. Good morning and welcome to the show. You know, it's the Dream Maker show, and of course, I'm the Dream Maker, and I got my co-host with me. She's going to be up at 12. Miss Melovee, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. This is a great day to be alive.
Hey, it's a great day.
Wonderful day.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
We got an exciting guest today.
Yeah.
Yo, DJ Morale.
There you go. Yeah, you get carried away with yourself.
It's all right. Look, it's good to be carried away by music.
Ain't no doubt,
Yes,
especially when it's feel-good music.
Yes,
You know?
uplifting. We need some of that this morning and every day.
Yes.
But we have an excellent guest coming on today. She's phenomenal. She's an independent filmmaker and artist and also author. And she'll be on to talk about her latest award-winning film drama called Aged Out.
Okay.
It's awesome. So we're looking forward to having her on the program.
You think she can get me in a movie? You know,
Well,
Dream
look,
Maker?
we both need to be in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is.
We
Hook
gonna,
us up.
yeah, what's going on?
You know, I can dance.
There you go. There we go. We can be extras and we can step
I
in.
can make dreams come true.
Amen. Amen. That's what it's all about. Supporting those young people who are out here doing creative and positive things. So
No
we want
doubt
to make
about
sure we always uplift them in the community.
And then we're going to be right here up until 1 o'clock. And, of course, at 12, it's the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show on Facebook Live as well. So sit back, relax, hashtag, share it, let people know if they're interested in getting information about how producing, how to write, how to star, how to get a cast. Tell them to tune in at 12 o'clock because we're going to rock. But nevertheless, I'm going to reach back there and give you one of those 4 tops beats, an up-tempo one, mix it up. Can't help myself. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Right here on the Dream Maker show. You know how we like to go. Right here at WODU, the heartbeat of Old Dominion.
Sugar pie, honey bunch. You know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. In and out my life. You come and you go. Leaving just your picture behind. And I kissed it 1,000 times. When you snap your finger or wink your eye, I come running to you. I'm tied to your apron string, and there's nothing that I can do. Can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Sugar pie. I'm weaker than a man should be. I can't help myself. I'm a fool in love, you see. Wanna tell you I don't love you, tell you that we're through. And I try, but every time I see your face, I get all choked up inside. When I call your name, girl, it starts to flame. Burning in my heart, tearing it all apart. No matter how I try, my love I cannot hide. Oh, sugar pie, honey bunch. Sugar pie. You know that I wait for you. Can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Sugar pie. Do anything you ask me to. Can't help myself. I want you and nobody else. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Sugar pie. You know that I love you. Can't help myself. No, I can't help myself.
What's the sense in sharing this one and only life? Ending up just another lost and lonely wife. You count up the years, and they will be filled with tears. Love only breaks up to start over again. You'll get the babies, but you won't have your man. While he's busy loving every woman that he can. Say I'm gonna leave 100 times a day. It's easier said than done when you just can't break away. You just can't break away. Oh, young hearts, run free. You'll never be hung up like my man and me. My man and me. Ooh, young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool when love really don't love you. Don't love you. It's high time now, just one crack at life. Who wants to live it in trouble and strife? My mind must be free to learn all I can about me. I'm gonna love me for the rest of my days. Encourage the babies every time they sing. Self-preservation is what's really going on today. Say I'm gonna turn loose 1,000 times a day, but how can I turn loose when I just can't break away? When I just can't break away. Oh, young hearts, run free. They'll never be hung up like my man and me. You and me. Ooh, young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool when love really don't love you. Don't love you. Young hearts, run free. They'll never be hung up like my man and me. My man and me. Oh, young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool when love really don't love you. But don't love you. Ooh, young hearts, run free. They'll never be hung up like my man and me. My man and me. Oh, young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool when love really don't love you.
WODU, the heartbeat of Old Dominion. That's the sounds of Candy Staten, Young Heart, Run Free. The Big Blue Takes Back rally to end sexual violence. For the past 4 falls at ODU, student leaders have gathered to practice the public art of making positive change with the Big Blue Take Back. This year rally will take place Friday, October the 13th on Kaufman Mall at 6:30 p.m. This annual rally march pledge unity, diverse students groups, including athlete teams, Greek organizations, student government, artists behind the Green Dot Violent Prevention Strategy. Both Green Dot and the rally works to ensure that every community student feels respected and safe on the campus. In addition to survivor stories, spoken word performances, and a cappella choir, the rally will feature a public pledge challenging every monarch to do their part to prevent interpersonal violence, stalking, harassing, sexual, and relationship abuse. before it starts. This year rally chairperson is Miss Jada White, summarizing the Take Back purpose as follows. The Big Blue Take Back is a necessary for not just ODU, but the community. It is a reminder to every survivor that he or she is not alone and that he or she has the power to take back his or her life. In addition to the artistic performances, stories of survivors, student government president Jordan Smith and Dean of Students Don Stanberry will speak to the community, reinforcing their commitments to a campus free from violence and discrimination. For more information, contact Jada White at JWHIT023 at odu.education and Wendy White at the ODU Women's Center. That's W-E White at odu.edu. For more information, you also can call 683-4109. That's 683-4109. Join in on that. That's coming up. Big Blue Take Back Rally to end sexual abuse. That's October the 13th, next Friday, I think. And the best of the 757 might try to, be a part of that.
That's right. That's very important.
It's very important to support. Yeah, especially
important endeavors like that.
Yeah,
yes.
to help, to support the campus and my colleagues in preventing this violence that's going on and to prevent it from being on the campus as well as our surrounding community. So I hope that everyone participates. Nevertheless, we're going to do our best at 12 o'clock, like I said before. We'll be coming up with the best part of the talk, community talk, the best of the 757 and the community talk show. And nevertheless, we back into the music. Okay, I got to play some Luther. You already know that. This one is called Can Heaven Wait? You're listening to the Dream Maker Show with the Dream Maker. Until 1 o'clock, we gonna rock the heartbeat of Old Dominion.
Quarter after 7, got a phone call telling me to get here quick. Said your girl is in a bad situation. They don't know if she's gonna make it. As I hurry to be by her side, I asked 1,000 times why, oh why. There's no rhyme or reason in my life with you lying here this way. I'd give anything just to trade places with you. So I'm begging heaven down on my knees to help you make it through. Tell me, can heaven wait? Can heaven wait just one more night? Tell me what's gonna take to keep you and me in my life. Giving up the shame of my other life. Now I'm seeing things in a whole new light. What about to change if you just make it right? Can heaven wait one night? Yeah. Thinking back on times that I wasted, I should have cherished every day. All the different flavors that I tasted can't compare to you, no. As I reminisce by your side, tears of guilt are streaming from my eyes. All the things I did that weren't right, wish I could apologize. I'd give anything if I could trade places with you. So I'm begging heaven down on my knees to help you make it through. Tell me, can heaven wait? Can heaven
just one more night. Tell me what's gonna take to keep you with me in my life. Giving up the shame of my other life. Now I'm seeing things in a whole new light. Lord, I'm about to change it for you. Just make it right. Can heaven wait one night? I'm gonna stop the world, reverse the time, do whatever it takes to keep you alive. Heaven has to wait one more day. Baby, take my breath so you can breathe. I need you here, so don't you leave. Heaven, yeah. Tell me, can heaven wait? Just heaven's got to wait. Tell me what's it gonna take to keep you in my life? Giving up the shame of my I'll change it, just make it right. Can heaven, tell me, can heaven wait? Can heaven wait just one more night? Can it, baby? Tell me what's gonna take to keep you with me in my life. I'm giving up the shame of my other life. Now I'm seeing things in a whole new light. Lord, I'm about to change it. Just make it right. Can heaven wait one night? I wanna know. Can heaven wait one night? Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know. Yeah. Can heaven wait one night? Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know. Yeah. Can heaven wait one night? Yeah, 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 yeah. Can heaven wait?
WODU, the Dream Maker.
Could I be the man you want me to?
Many days have gone by. I say to myself, gotta let her know she's mine. Ain't gonna waste no more time wishing you were mine. If it's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk right up to you, baby. Said I love you, baby. I love you. You should know, girl, you should know. Girl, my love is so for real. My love is so for real. Anything to have you near. I wanna be closer. Girl, I've got to be closer. Ooh, I wanna be closer. Squeeze you and please you. Do everything
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Teddy Riley, and you're listening to WODU with the Dream Maker.
All my ladies say, oh, you already know we be getting money. All my ladies say, oh, we be making moves, we be stacking honey. All my ladies say, oh, get familiar, nothing's gonna stop it. All my ladies say, oh, all my ladies say, oh, all my ladies say, she hustles harder, Monday to Sunday, baby, and the world is her oyster, and she's gonna drive it crazy. Sexy, smooth, get it attitude. This girl got that pound, power move, pound, independent chicks, team business minded. I am who I am, and I am.
Time to wake up, make a little paper. Don't have a thought about a single hater. See, that's a wonderful way to start the day. I love it when I feel this way. I can feel the earth sway from under the ground.
I'm not a sex symbol. I'm not a sex symbol. White girl wasted, guitar screaming, breaking all the money, and I'm cold-blooded like anemic. I'm so tight, just leaving my seamstress when I fly by. G4 is the cleanest. I'm sexy, huh? Show me that you mean it. My sex appeal, dressed to kill, that's for real. I rocks for real. I spend a couple million for a record deal. So get a drama song. So where you get your money from? I'm not a sex symbol. Yeah, she's so rock and roll that the world gon' need block patrol. We gon' get a drama song. We gotta get a drama song. We gotta get a drama song. Body fresh, sweet scent, smell me from a mile. Show a little cleavage and ain't hunting me down. They tryna make me a sex symbol. 'Cause I'm breaking the glasses, batting my lashes. I got a fetish for stepping in and out of new Jags and new Benzes. Product, I'm the one they after. And cigars, they want me in Vicky bras, but I got a secret. Let me whisper something to you. Come a little closer, I got something to tell you. I'm a bad chick, I'm a live wire, unrestricted, set your own fire. Got every magazine wanting me, 'cause I'm so sexy. Look so tasty, you better believe it. A little conceited, I got a reason. I'm taking off, I'm number one. I look good, don't I? I thought I told
front of Gucci in the winter. I seen you with your girls walking in your chinchilla fur. I was laid up in the coupe back shade up, looking at your face just pure with no makeup. A little bit of MAC lip gloss, hair in a bun, well done. Looking for a ring, I seen none, so I hopped out the coupe and hot pursuit to stop and introduce like I'm shining. You my destiny in your diamond cluster. Too much just to touch you. Perfume down to your structure. Think I wait till the second night to yeah, I wanna marry you. Nah, I'm just playing, but we could start with a few nights out in Malibu, surfing, laying up on Persians. Here's my number, put it in your purse and call me.
On the telephone, she heard my voice. Tell me to pick her up in my Rolls Royce. If my Rolls Royce is not for ladies, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Mercedes. If my Mercedes would have full up of the disease, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Firebird. If my Firebird cannot take the curve, girl, put your ass on the dumb at your bus.
We're getting closer. My player days is over. Well, maybe not completely, but still in all, come here, rest your head on my bed, and let me get between your legs, lay on your back, take it from the back, like a bad girl supposed to. I know you like that. Scream, wake the when they sleep. Grab the sheets, grit your teeth, wiggle your butt cheeks. Pour the styles over your body, look you up, treat you like a convenience store, stick you up, take you to the balcony, pick you up, so you can look at the city while I'm digging your kitty. Then we drive into the sunset, pull over, get up on the hood, ma, I ain't done yet.
On the telephone, she heard my voice. Tell me to pick her up in my Rolls Royce. If my Rolls Royce is not for ladies, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Mercedes. If my Mercedes would have full up of the disease, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Firebird. If my Firebird cannot take the curve, girl, put your ass on the dumb at your bus.
We've been together for a few months now. Did it all 4 seasons to the Trump. Beverly Hills bungalows in your underclothes. In Paris, Eiffel Tower, bubble baths and showers. And it's the Indochine. Since here's what you seen. See me flip a couple things, load of magazines. And I think you might be the right one. Whoa, wait, press the brakes, gotta investigate. But I do know, to you it don't matter whether my pockets are slim or fatter, whether it's BBQs or Mr. Child's platter. Even if I slip off the success ladder, even if the paragraphs didn't hit the charts and smash. If my car was a train, I'm a silver Seraph. I think you'd be right there, cause we right here. No Cartier charms, just you in my arms. No Sean Don, just a bottle of Avion. Come on,
On the telephone, she heard my voice. Tell me to pick her up in my Rolls Royce. If my Rolls Royce is not for ladies, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Mercedes. If my Mercedes would have full up of the disease, then girl, I'm gonna take you in my Firebird. If my Firebird cannot take the curve, girl, put your ass on the dumb at your bus. So I draw from a tonic, can I take one sip? Should've simply just a gallop like a horse and get whipped. Come quick, yeah. Come quick, whoa. Cause you are love and not another. Although some may change, but I know I will never love you forever.
WODU, the heartbeat of Old Dominion. Like I said, we play nothing but the hits. That's what we do right here on the Dream Maker Show, bringing you the best R&B, hip-hop, pop, rock, old school. We do it all just for you. Just want you to know that. And don't you forget that. Are you in need of reaching the campus population and don't know how? Well, advertise right here on WODU Studios. Get your information out to the students the best way possible with great service from WODU Studios. Contact us at WODUpromo@gmail.com. Again, that's WODUpromo@gmail.com. But you never know what we might do. That's what we do, because we are the best of the 757, the Dream Maker, and you know.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Teddy Riley, and you're listening to WODU with the Dream Maker.
I'm the definition of half man, half
drugs, ass to clubs, bad boy, that's what's up. After bucks, crush crews after us. No games, we ain't laughing much. Nothing but big things. Check the hit list, how we twitch. What changed with the name? We still here, you're rocking with the best. Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. Who's the boss? Dudes is lost. Don't think cause I'm iced out, I'ma cool off. Who else but me? And if you don't feel me, that means you can't touch me. It's ugly, trust me. Get it right, dog, we ain't never left. We just move in silence and rep to the death. It's official, I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continues. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Hey, look, straight from the Harlem streets. I don't play, y'all push it down with the Harlem heat. All of a sudden, got a problem with me. Black, what happened? They running around acting like the black don't can't eat. And you know what? For some strange reason, I'm on for this medication for the deranged meeting. For y'all to put the word out. We ain't leaving. We trying to be rich before we all stop breathing. Therefore, we kinda hustle lanes. Stay laying down our muscle games. Still turn dreams to flames. You got the wire? If not, I ain't saying no names. You soon expire. No pain. I feel remorseless. Of course, it's me and Diddy up first racing Porsches with the big twin valve exhausts. On the cover of your vibes, double XLs and sauces.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Change since the notorious. See everything still glorious. We still got warriors, still be the victorious. See it's a lot of them, but it's more of us. Still got cash to blow, raps to flow. Still them cats to know, pack the flow. That's for sure. Bottles to pop, joints to rock. Play the background, handle my job, holding my money to get. Cars to flip, bars to sit at and sip cognac with juice to drip. Hoes to see, make sure they knowin' it's me. Drop that D, can't believe that I am C. Bad boy to the casket drop, gotta love it, place nothing above it. It's on like that, don't believe we ain't going like that. For always gonna be here, we there, every month is here.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
We ain't going nowhere.
Going nowhere.
We gonna stay right here. Forever and ever.
We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
We ain't going nowhere. We gonna stay right here. We ain't going nowhere.
We can't be stopped now,
We gonna stay right here.
for life. Going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Yeah, bad boy for life. Ain't no doubt about it. We bringing you the best R&B and hip hop because that's what we like to do, and I hope you like it too. On the Dream Maker Show, we'll be right back right after this important message. And where is that message at? I just had it.
The Adventures of Captain 85. Another kid I've got to bury. Sheesh. Tragic loss of life, isn't it? Who said that? I did. I'm Captain 85. I knew the boy. He had a very bright future until this drive-by shooting took his life. Yeah, so I heard. Hey, buddy, do you always prowl around in that costume? It gives me chills. My costume? Sir, there's far too many other elements of fear than my attire. The fact that the boy you've buried and others are dying in the streets is more fearful. The fact that gang violence has escalated. Kids are killing kids, teachers, even parents, whoever angers them. That's frightening. So long. Well, I guess you're right. So long. The Adventures
The
of
Real Adventures of Captain 85 and Community Action People Incorporated mentoring program. Yes, like I said before, we're giving you phase one when we do the community talk to inspire you to, talk to your kids, get information that you may not be aware of, get information about programs that might be going on and other things in the community that can inspire and give inspiration to our future leaders. And Melovee.
Yes, we have a guest coming into the studios today.
Okay.
She's a phenomenal local filmmaker and author.
Right.
She'll be here to discuss her latest award-winning film, Aged Out. We're looking forward to having her, and she has a long list of credits to her name. So we want to make sure we welcome her when she gets into the studio today.
Oh, so she didn't have to get a credit check? she wasn't with the people that, she wasn't. Oh, no, you're talking about credits for her plays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Film and literary credit.
TransUnion or somewhere. No, those kind of credits. I understand. Maybe she can help me out because I'm a little lost here.
Amen.
Nevertheless, that's coming up at 12 o'clock, the best of the 757 Community Talk Show right here on WODU and also on the best of the 757 Community Talk Show on Facebook Live. That's all coming up at 12. We'll talk to you then because I just want to play a little jazz for you. The one and only, that phenomenon, that lady that knows how to make you feel right and it don't take all night. I'm talking about the one and only Sade right here on the Dream Maker Show, the heartbeat of Old Dominion.
Surely you want it back. Tell me, is it a
Hello, hello.
Because this young woman
Hello.
is phenomenal. She is a filmmaker, independent filmmaker and author. As I read her bio, there's so many things that are to her credit. And I can't wait till we unpack it today on the show. So press the share button because this is going to be a great show today. As every day, we want to make sure that we get the information out to all the viewers about how to become whatever it is you want to do. The Dream Maker is about making dreams come true. So we bring people on and to share about their experiences and what their endeavors are so that you can have an insight and be they can be a mentor to you as to how to get involved in the areas that they're passionate about. So this young woman, I met her several years ago. I actually was a lowly, well, not lowly, but I was a production assistant. I was excited to be one on one of her friends' film productions called Closet Doors. Closet Doors, exactly.
That's Tina Cow.
Yeah, and actually she did the editing for your
Aged
movie.
Out,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Aged
She
Out.
did an amazing job.
Oh my
too.
God, these women, I called them, and this particular woman here, hashtag my local Shonda Rhimes. You know, I come up with hashtags. But in a minute, we'll get into more about who she is and what she's doing. And she has an award-winning film. Absolutely. So, and also her cast has won numerous awards as well. We're going to get into that and talk about more about that as well and all the things that are coming up with her. I'm so excited. You've never seen me this excited before. I'm usually so calm. But I want you all to press that share button so we can get as many people viewing as possible. Your friends, your colleagues, your Facebook Live folks, please press that share button and we're going to
share too.
Yes, we're going to share as well.
Coming straight from the studios of WODU. You know how we like to get it in. The Dream Maker's here. If you don't see me, don't worry about it because, you know, Facebook has changed around their software. You turn the camera one way, it goes the opposite way. And,
you know that voice, the Dream Maker.
So, nevertheless, I'm in the studios, and if you're watching on YouTube, and of course on the campus TV station, you know that we're everywhere. We're on different social media, so never fear, I'm here. I want to send mad shouts out to Ron TV. Hey, you know we playing that. We playing that CD, boy. Netflix. What? And also the Rodney. What's up, baby boy? 420 music group also chiming in today. So y'all need to be chiming in and getting more information that this lady might be able to put you on to something, get you in the movies or something. Let's go.
Amen. Amen. We were talking about that earlier. The Dream Maker, and I was saying maybe she'll give us a little cameo. Yes.
When she said you had, you know, all the credits that you had, I was thinking that you could help me get American Express, but it wasn't that kind of credit. I was like, whoa,
we were talking about, I said she has so many things to her credit, her literary credit, her filmmaking credit. I did. So we're pressing that share button. Please share, because this is going to be an exciting show today. Let me turn that down.
Yeah, so, yes, definitely share. Also want to send a mad shout out to Pat Richardson, who was also a part of the young lady that was lost. I mean,
absolutely. Ashante Billy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat Richardson was one of the speakers down there that Sunday.
Absolutely.
And,
at Town Center.
And she just sent a message out saying, I love you because life is too short not to send that out.
That's right.
So I want to share that with people that, you know, tell somebody, message, hashtag, tweet, however you reach people and let them know that you love them. To Pat Richardson, I haven't forgot you. Maybe we can get you over to talk about that too. That experience that you went through. as we continue to
Yes, and we-
invite and share this day with your peeps.
Oh, there it goes.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in my piece.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We want to make sure that everybody get the full benefit of this young woman's talents and abilities and her expertise because, as I said, I had the opportunity to be a production assistant where you were also...
I was one of the producers on that show.
Producers on the show, and it was phenomenal. You do a lot of pieces, and also Tatina does a lot of things based on social justice and social injustice.
Yes.
And I love that you bring it to the forefront. And I want to give you a proper introduction because I'm so excited. Okay, this woman is born in Portsmouth. All right,
P-Town.
We
What up?
got two P-Town people in the house.
What part of Portsmouth you don't
I
mind me?
grew up in Churchland, but I was born at the Portsmouth Naval Hospital.
Oh, okay.
And actually, my youngest son was born there as well.
Well, I was born on Effingham Street. They used to call it Billy Goat Alley, but that was before your time. So,
But
yeah.
her mission is to bring African American female filmmakers stories to the screen that embody the experiences and voices of people of color that are devoid in television and film. That's a mouthful. That's something that we all need. And we were just talking with one another during our music segment, the Dream Maker and myself, about how it's important to bring our stories that are not often told by us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're told sometimes, but not by us.
Right.
And it's very important that we have those filmmakers. I was sharing with you that I did my research, that there's so many women that come before you that are in your time frame right now. Ava DuVernay. She's awesome, yes. Obviously, Shonda Rhimes,
yes.
right, is also out there. She's doing her thing. And I also got to look up Lisa Cortez, Nima Burnett, also old school. We're going to reach back, and I love her. Maya Angelou, we often miss her because, you know, after she's gone and be with the Lord, you know, she also was one of those who mentored Oprah Winfrey. Who doesn't know Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah.
Who has her own network. We're calling that for you. We're calling that out in the name and through the blood of Jesus for you, that because you have so many things to your credit. There's so many that I couldn't even list them, but we'll go through that. But I wanted you to tell the people more about who you are and what you're doing. We're going to talk about your movie that's coming out, Aged Out, but tell them who you are.
This is funny. I don't when you ask who
Yeah, I know, right? People,
hard,
that's the hardest question,
hard.
right?
Yeah, because I think sometimes we want to define ourselves by what we do.
Right.
People who know me, I try. I don't know what you would call me.
But you know, you're humble.
I
You're
try,
a woman of God. Your woman has passion for the community that you live and breathe in, and you also are talented and gifted. We have to say the word gifted because so many people try to do this. Okay, we'll leave that alone. But we know that there's a gifting that God gives each of us.
Yes.
And even your first book, Where My Strength Comes From, it was published in 2005, right? That's a title in itself. That start from there.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
What's funny is growing up, I really did not know what I want to do. You know how like I meet people and they say, "Oh, I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker at 5." I didn't.
Right.
I didn't even really like watching TV. I was more of a book reader. And writer, and so when I got about maybe around the age of 19, I started doing poetry.
Okay.
But it was like for me. It wasn't I
Right,
didn't
to
wanna
share.
Yeah, it was just like my
Exactly.
therapy, my form of expression, and
It's cathartic.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And so I started telling stories, and I don't know if you guys remember like a few. This is gosh, because I would tell my age, but
It's all right. Look,
many years ago there was this situation where this young man, he was in Neiman Market, I believe, and they accused him of stealing a piece of jewelry, and he was shot by the police and killed.
Okay. Now, was this locally? Was it?
No, this was I want to say it was either New York or California.
Okay.
So it was many years ago. It was at least 20 years ago.
Okay.
But I remember writing poetry at that poem at that moment, and I remember it was not fulfilling to me.
Right.
And I was sitting there, and which it was ironic because the story has nothing to do with that.
No, but you know what? But that's something that you bring to light because it shows your passion and how you got started. You got to start from somewhere, right? It starts with a passion, something your heart is tugged at. You know,
Yeah,
something
it was
tugs
like
at your
this pulling.
Right.
And so I did write a poem about that. And then within probably a few minutes, I was sitting at the computer, and I'll just say I got a vision for the name of the story came to. It was Where My Strength Came From, came to me. And God gave me a vision for the beginning of the story and the end of the story.
Amen.
And that was
how he does it.
Yeah.
The middle, you got you say, I'll work it out. You know, that's what you, right, exactly.
And it's much like life because, you know, like I know where I'm going.
Right.
I know where I'm at, but that journey in between is so difficult.
It's so
you don't know what it is.
No, but you know what? It's undetermined because that's the journey.
Yeah.
That's the journey. That's the journey that you take.
Yeah.
That middle piece, right? The beginning and the dash in the middle and then the end. But you know, actually, having said that, your movie that you're now currently in production for, and you already wrapped it.
We've wrapped it. We're to Tina, thank God for her, because she just
she's phenomenal.
She is phenomenal, and you know, first let me just shout out. We had an amazing crew.
Right.
Like I can't name everyone because I feel like I would miss
right.
people. But
Absolutely.
when I tell you, let me just explain to you what happened. Again, one of the young man, the lead male character, Jamel Simon.
Okay.
He was living here in Virginia, and he was heading to LA, and he said, you know, Tomeka, I need a role that's gonna give me range.
Wow.
Because I don't, you know, like I'm playing the guy next door often. So that's sort of how this started. But there was this story in me that I wanted to tell a while ago. I lived in New York for a little while.
Okay.
And I was living with a young lady named Tawana, and she worked for this adoption agency that would blindly adopt youth from 12 and older.
Okay.
And I would say to her, like, who would just adopt a child that they've never seen before or they've never met? So she was like, well, we just give them the profile. And we don't want kids that's in the foster care system to continue to get disappointed.
Right.
So that was their process, and I just could never grasp that. But she is the one who educated me on youth aging out of foster care.
Okay.
So I just thought, like, because, like, I never ever thought about what happened to youth who age out of foster care. And so when the opportunity to, you know, like I said, I was going to tell
bring
this
that
story,
to light because our kids are mostly, you know, affected by this.
A large part of our kids, Hispanic kids, I mean, and a lot of white kids
minority,
too. Because I look at it as like they're children, regardless of ethnicity.
Absolutely.
And you know, and oh my God, let me tell y'all this. So that was the beginning of how we started. And
obviously, you said you started in New York, and then all right.
So that was, and we started writing here. This was like years later.
Okay.
So I started writing the story, and so Jamel would say, you know, Tomeka, well, who are we gonna get to shoot it? And I was like, I don't know. Right now, I'm just working on the script.
Right.
So I had about 13 rewrites. You know, before we got to that. And Clyde Santana, I'm not sure if you guys know
Clyde Santana.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Who is he?
He's amazing. I can't even describe him in words. But at the we used to have a writers group that we used to go to at the Addicts Theater. It's called the Addicts Writers Workshop, and he taught us playwriting and screenwriting. And so I was in his workshop for about 7 years.
Okay.
And he gave us the opportunity, not just me, but Tibby was in the group, and then, you know, we had some playwrights. And so what he did is he gave us, you know, we would sit down and, you know, I call him my writing coach.
Right, brainstorming.
Well, no, just once I get a story, you know, he'll allow the room to read it.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
He would also sit down. We'll go meet at Panera Bread, and he'll like, Tomeka, nah, this is not strong enough, or you need to think about this. You know, consider this. You know, but he still let me tell my story.
Right.
So, as we were going through this, you know, he has all this amazing equipment. So he said, "I'll shoot it for you."
Oh wow!
And then somebody else came and was like, "Well, I'll do this."
So his God put it all together for you.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's a blessing.
I wasn't even looking for the crew yet.
Right.
And so by the time we were ready to shoot, and I don't know if you guys know Monty Ross.
Okay.
He actually teaches film here at ODU, but Monty has a phenomenal story. He's a mentor. He worked with Spike Lee from She's Gotta Have It Up to I think Malcolm X. And so he was a producer. If you look at the credits, phenomenal work. Worked in the Hollywood studio system. So just to even have his insight and his direction, you know, like over the years, you know, like like, look at this, look at film like this, pay attention
And
to
it's
color.
always so good to have people who are already connected in the
Yes.
industry to kind of guide you along and put you in the frame of mind that this is where I can go, this is what I can do.
At least help you
And-
with the craft.
right.
Because, you know, like, a lot of times they'll say, watch movies, and you're like,
Okay, what am I looking for?
Like, I've been watching movies, what am I looking for? So then, you know, talking to him, he'll say, okay, look at this frame, or look at the color, or look
Right.
at the da-da-da-da.
So he basically training your eye to look at it from a
Yeah,
different perspective instead of from just observing from a fan or from a
Exactly,
right.
yes.
Now I want to share with you, because you wouldn't know this, but having grown up in New York, and when I saw that you were doing this film, God always connects people for a reason. I in middle school I met a young man. His name is Billy Marcellus Shields. I don't know if you're listening out there. He was in the foster care system.
Okay.
And he was treated very poorly. And I want to share with you how relevant your story is. Not that you need this affirmation, but last night I was watching Law and Order, SVU, and guess what they were talking about? Foster care system. A young lady, the lead character there was in the foster care system. Getting back to this young man. My mom, you know, was a mother of 5, and she saw how this young man was struggling, and you know, we kind of dated, you know, whatever, you know, and she wanted to bring him into the house because his current foster care situation was horrendous, and he was bounced from place to place to place. Actually, he dabbled in acting as well, and you know, and modeling and different things. But to what you're saying, I don't know what ever happened, because once he aged out, and I didn't know that was the term, aged out, he had to live place to place to place. One place was my mother's house. Because, you know, once you turn 18, what happens? Now, when I thought about it the other day, I said, oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
What happens? So it does bring to mind that we all need to think about these things. And so what you're doing is bring awareness to a situation that people don't know that's the term, aged out. Yeah.
You know, when people say, what's your end goal? I said, just to start the conversation.
Absolutely.
Because I don't have the answers.
Right.
You know, I think it's so complicated. We wish every child could go to college because that buys them time.
Right, exactly.
But everyone's not college bound.
Absolutely.
You know,
and then you still need to figure it out in between, you know.
Those life skills.
Skills, right.
You know,
and with the lady that came on last night on the program on SVU, that was what her dilemma was.
Yes. Well, let me tell you this interesting part of the story, and this is how I know, like, you know, like, it's been hard. I mean, it's been a hard journey, but I think it's rewarding because we finally got there, and so we're finally there. Regardless of what happens, I just am excited that we have an end product.
Yes.
And we'll get to share it. What if, you know, hopefully we'll get in festivals, but if we don't, you know, there's still a community of people that I get to share this with.
Right.
Because it's really, like I told the cast and crew, this story is not just about making a movie. It's about a real issue.
Right.
Now, let me tell you how God works.
Yes.
So, while we were working on this and we getting our crew together, I had my cousin pose for the poster.
Okay.
So then his wife says to me, hey, because Jamel was living in LA, you know, and they had a similar body type at the time. So she says, one of the ladies I babysit for, she said, one of the ladies I babysit for has, she said she aged out of foster care. She just told me that the other day.
Wow.
So I said, oh my God, connect me to her.
Right.
You know? And so she connects me with the young lady. And so I was able to have the young lady come to our studio. I mean, come to one of the rehearsals we were having after we had cast everyone. And she shared her story. I mean, you could hear a pin drop.
Wow.
And I don't think it was one young lady that was familiar with foster care a little bit more than everyone else, but no one else really thought about what happened to the youth. Like, so it showed, like, you know, like, it was like, and so, you know, I had some of the cast members call me the next day and was like, oh my God, you know.
This is really important. This is
like,
something that needs to be brought to light. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Like, how come we didn't know about this?
Absolutely.
Then before I emailed, you know, the casting call out, and one young lady, I worked with her on another project, and she's phenomenal. She was our production manager, Brigette Rock.
Okay.
And so she emailed me, and she says, you know, I emailed it to, you know, everyone I knew in filmmaking in the local area. And so she said, Tomeka, what is this about?
Right.
You know, and I was
Exactly.
like, I told her. So I said, well, read the script, you know. And so she read the script, and she says, well, we talk on the phone, and she says, I just want you to know I aged out of foster care.
Wow.
So, you know, we had two people
Now, here you are.
organically. When I wrote this, I didn't know these ladies.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And so,
oh, wow.
when I tell you, so I went back in after she told me some of her journey and rewrote parts of the scenes. Because again, if you don't walk that walk,
you can't
certain
know.
experiences
Absolutely.
you just cannot even understand, or you know, you can have empathy for, but you just don't
Right.
understand it.
Absolutely.
And when I tell you, like, it was heartbreaking listening to both of these ladies' stories, and they share very similar stories. And so, the other thing that I plan to do, I'm working on a feature script for this now, because I
Okay.
sort of wrote this as an awareness piece.
Right.
But the feature, I want to dig a little bit more into some of the day-to-day, the life, show the experiences in the journey of these youth who age out of foster care. And I particularly want to tell it from a female perspective, because on top of the journey of, you know, being homeless, I think it's over 44% of the
Absolutely.
youth
They talked
who
about that
age
last
out
night.
become homeless within
Yes,
3 years.
Absolutely.
Keeping steady jobs, you know, just a whole lot of things, you know, that they experience. On top of that, the girls or females have to worry about being raped.
Sexually abused. That was one of the premises on the show last night on
You
Law and
know,
Order.
and so
Absolutely.
they both of these young ladies talked about, and we had this in the script, but it rained,
Right.
and then we switched our shooting schedule, and we couldn't get it. But we
Right.
talked, there was a scene where they both, different places, tell me that they used to sleep in ditches,
Right.
so that
Okay.
people wouldn't see them.
Right.
So
And
when
keeping
you-
themselves safe because you're
yeah,
predators.
you're hiding.
Right. It's
Yeah.
predators.
Or,
right.
you know, I had another young lady tell me that, you know, it has been cold outside, and she would sleep with someone in a hotel so that she could be warm.
Absolutely. That was one of the things on the show.
Yeah. And you know, and so like having to make these compromising decisions to survive, you know, and so like I don't think people totally are like, we don't care about the youth who age out of foster care. I don't think they know or understand
Absolutely.
what's happening. And
Because
so that's
really
what
what
we're hoping.
you're saying is people are not aware. That's
Correct.
the big thing. I didn't know it was that you know the term aged out.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put a name to it, when you put faces to it, now
Yes.
you have a documentary or a film
Yes.
now towards that. How many people are going to come out and say, "This is me. This is my story"? You know.
Yes.
Okay. The other hashtag is what's his name in Atlanta? Yeah, Tyler Perry,
Okay.
because you know
Yes.
that's the because we need to make sure that we're getting these stories out. This is such a blessing that you were able to have these women share their stories,
Yes.
coming from all sorts of places. Now saying that's what happened to me.
Yes.
That's what happened to me. But I want to get into who you are and how you became who you are.
Yes. I want to send a man shout out to Cecil Jenkins. He's the protege of Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
And he was just texting saying that he was just talking about Tim Reed,
Yes.
you know, last night.
How
He's
can
out
we
in
help?
he's out in California now in the studios and in Las Vegas performing. Also, a shout out to Ike Owens, who's chimed in, and so many. Tomeka Winfield. Hello, Tomeka. How you doing?
Hello.
Michael Mazon, also who's chimed in
Mhm.
today, who's
103
watching.
Jams,
Angie
Dr.
Harrell
Offset.
and Lavon.
Pinkney,
Yes.
Mia Lloyd, Ike Owens, Mary Calhoun, Joseph Sparrow. Oh, Greg Brand News.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to thank you for chiming in, Van Alvin. We want to thank you, Eric Joyner. Thank you for chiming in. I got so caught up in talking
No,
with
that's
you.
okay. And you know, I still couldn't get online, so I couldn't share it yet. And I
Oh,
want-
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so I'm gonna, when we take a break, get you to help me to get
Okay.
online.
A man out in California. He's in California. His name is hard for me to pronounce. I don't want to.
Okay, we'll just say Bay. How you doing, Bay?
Yeah, Bay. What's up, bro?
Well, I want to say Shayla.
Yeah,
Shaya.
something like that.
Yes.
I don't want to mispronounce it. I'll let somebody else do it. You know.
Hey,
And to Miss
baby.
Lord as well.
Yes, we want to thank you all because this is an important topic.
Yeah. Please
And-
hit the share button and share it with your friends on your Facebook page as well. We always want people to be aware. Randy Ward, thank you for chiming in as well. Is it hard to get into movie making?
Yes.
It is.
I mean, like, because what I've decided is I'm going to do it regardless, but I'm not in.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Like, and the reason I say that is because if you ask, like, Tyler Perry or Will Packer or Ava DuVernay or do they Tomeka Winborne? They're gonna be like, who? you know,
not yet,
not yet,
not yet.
So, but I think that I'm thankful because there was a time it would have been so hard to still create. We have platforms now. So one, thank you all for having me because I get to share this message with people that I didn't know.
Right.
But then you have YouTube, you have Amazon, you have these platforms now that as an independent filmmaker, you can get it out there. But also, and this is the reason I chose to do festivals. This is the first time that I've done the festival circuit. I told myself I would do 3 film festivals, 3 short films before I did a feature, just to practice. That's my film school. So, what I'm hoping is through this project, I will at least be able to make a little bit more traction. I just moved down to Atlanta.
Wow. I got family in ATL, so we want to hope that they chime in as well. Okay, great. Yes.
So the goal is to get in, like you said, get in. But yes, it is difficult. It's easy to make. I would say it's easier to make the product, but getting it out there is
another whole
part.
And I want to share with people that you do, because you don't say it to yourself. You have your own publishing, TMW.
Well, that was my old publishing company. I have a company now called Lavender Real Media Group.
Okay, that was the second one I was going to say, that you have a new one called, say it again?
Lavender Real Media Group.
Okay, and that's where you're going to have your screening at this...
Well, Lavender Real Media Group is like the production company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also your credits are too numerous to list, but you also were a part of Cox 11.
Yes.
Right, and you also were a producer on several films, short films. I want to read some of them. In Plain Sight, Human Trafficking with Cox 11.
Yes.
You were a freelance producer. Let Freedom Ring, A Call to Heal a Nation, also Cox 11. You were a freelance producer. Blood Drive Behind the Scenes, also with Cox 11. You, like you said, you have a short film with your current media group called Lavender Real, called Too Late. I actually looked at that, a little bit of that.
Okay.
What Could Happen, 2014, Romney and Ryan, The Frozen Lava, and you were a writer and producer on that.
Yes.
Atlantis Down, that's you were a production assistant. I wanted you to talk about that. It was a feature film.
Yes.
So, and also journalism. I could just show you. Look, this is a long list of credits, literary credits that she has. But speak to some of those things, because people need to know your journey. How did you get? Some people just say, "Oh, well, she just came from what?" So we want to share that with the
funny story.
Yes.
So when I wrote my book, Where My Strength Comes From, I had someone say to me, "Well, your book is nothing if someone doesn't make it into a movie."
Oh, okay.
And I'm competitive.
Right. That's right.
I like challenges.
You're like me, challenges, right?
And so in my head, I was like, well, I'm gonna make a movie. And so I moved to New York, and I thought I would go to film school. It was too expensive, and life was just really difficult there, trying to get get grounded. And my aunt became sick a year later. She was like 91, so I moved back to Virginia.
Okay.
And so I had sort of like felt depressed and like a failure, and this is how good God is. So I worked on the Obama campaign in 2008. I ran the Portsmouth office.
That's another thing we have
Yeah.
to cover.
So
in Virginia Beach.
Okay, so what happened was, after that, I was working on another campaign, and this filmmaker locally, Ethan Martin, he was speaking at he was at an event asking questions, and he said filmmaker. I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So I went to Ethan and I said, hey, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, blah, blah, blah. So he said, well, like me on Facebook. And when I liked him on Facebook, you saw every day this progression of them building this spacecraft.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, I want to help. I want to be a part of it. So he said, well, we don't have any more money in the budget. I said, I don't care. I just want to volunteer. I'll do that.
That's right.
And I'll be honest, working up there was such a blessing. I met other filmmakers, and then I would see the director, and it was because it still was an independent project. I was able to have lunch with the writers. They like, get this book, get that book, talk with the DP, talk with the
The DP,
director of photography.
Okay.
And so, you know, it was such a blessing. So thank you, Ethan Martin. But it also said you can do this.
Right.
Like as I'm watching them making these creative choices, I said, hey, I can do this.
Right. This is something that you can see
it's
yourself
tangible.
do. Yeah, that's
because
something
at
I can
first
see
it
to
didn't
do.
seem tangible.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And ironically, what's so funny though is like I used to write it in a journal every day. I
Yes.
don't do it as much as I should now, but I was looking back through an old journal from years ago, and I spoke this into existence long
Amen.
before.
That's right.
Like, and I didn't even have it in my heart at that time.
You didn't even know it was there.
So it was so funny just that, you know, like word is power in words.
That's right.
So that's sort of how the journey began. And then after that, I went to one of the ladies, Dee, who was my production assistant for the project, our key PA. She was like, come to the Virginia Production Alliance. We have an alliance of filmmakers here in Virginia that many people don't know about. And they're
That's
doing
right, I was
great
looking at
work.
that. Okay.
They're doing great work here. You know, it's a small community, but they're doing great work. So I went to a meeting and they had a booth or it was like their annual event, and this Gail Easley that used to be at the Addicts Theater, she was like, oh, we have a writers group. So that's how the journey began.
Now, did you go to school? You know, we have college students watching. Did you? What?
I didn't.
Okay, you didn't. And see, this is what we plan, and God laughs.
Mhm.
You know, what we think we're going to go on a certain path. God said, no. Well, you think that's what you're going to do, but I'm pulling you over here. And so many times you're like, okay, that wasn't something I was thinking about, but that's where your heart now.
And I love it.
Yeah,
like I'm
it's
surrendering
awesome.
everything for this at this point, because I have these stories, I get visions, and right now in order for me to do it, and it's scary, but in order for me to do it, I have to
Give it
let go.
over.
I have to give 100% to it, and it's difficult because I'm single, and you still got to make money.
Right, you
know?
still got to be able to
So
support
I'm trying
yourself.
to figure out how to
Do
use
both.
the gifts to make it work,
That's
so
right.
that I can take care of myself, but still create content that I feel like I want to share with the world.
And actually, what you said, how you volunteered where there was no avenue for you to get income, you still volunteered, but God still makes a way. You
It
still
was
here. Yeah, it's
education.
education. You have to develop the craft. You gotta get in there, pay the dues.
Absolutely.
You gotta see how it works. And having said that, that's something that how I met you
Yes.
was doing the same thing, because I didn't know. I'm thinking I met Tatina. She was actually doing radio, and I was in a group, an organization that I chaired, political group.
Okay.
And I would be on the program, Chris Kettner show, and she was
Okay.
the engineer for that
Okay.
show. And so I met her. I didn't know that she was even into film,
Mm-hmm.
but then boom, a few years later she was doing this film, and I said, I'm going to volunteer because I
Right.
wanted to see what it was about. I was always fascinated coming out of New York, where it's the biggest mecca for
Right.
stage plays and film. Now Atlanta is, and obviously LA, and I wanted to get my hands into it, and I didn't know. I said, I'm willing to do whatever it is it takes.
Right.
But like you said, there are so many people out there that feel like, well, I'll just go out here and get it done, but you have to pay the dues. You have to know what all is behind it. So speak to that. And I already equated you to Ava DuVernay, because
DuVernay, yes.
DuVernay.
Yeah, I love her.
Yes, yes.
I think she's my film muse, because I think she's a filmmaker. I don't know if you guys watch Queen Sugar.
I was just telling him about that. Yeah.
But she has all women directors on her
Yes.
show, which is, I credit her to it, because they don't necessarily have to be like in the DGA, which is the Directors Guild of America. She'll find women at a film festival. And
Yeah,
say,
she did. I saw her do a thing on PBS.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that she's awesome, and so like she's a little bit selfless. She's growing, but she's embodying other people, helping
And she's
them
bringing
share their
people
gift.
in.
Yeah,
Yes.
that wouldn't necessarily get in, because there's so many talented filmmakers. I
Right.
mean, that you've never heard their names. I had a bunch of them on my set.
Wow.
Honestly, like they're all creating, and that's the thing. Like they are all creating their own work, but they said, "I'll come help you."
Right.
And so that's the great thing about being in a smaller area,
Networking.
because you tend to help each other on projects, because you don't always have the money.
No.
Yeah, we shot that for nothing.
And actually, I saw her, Ava DuVernay, on PBS, and the same thing you're just describing. She was lifting up a young woman who was a filmmaker, talking about social injustice, and I can't remember the story topic, and forgive me, But that was exactly what she was doing. She said, this woman, when I saw her piece, I think on Facebook or something, she said, I contacted her. And she said, I wanted to know more about what she was doing. Because they asked her, how did you partner with her?
Right.
But that's how you come along. Someone pulls you along, and says, find one, lift one up. And so that's the journey.
With your characters, so once you got the script, how do you do you do the casting call, or how do you get the people to try out for the parts?
Yeah, what we did is we sent out a casting call. I emailed it, and then there's a local talent agent, Sylvia Hudson.
Okay, I heard of her.
That's here. She didn't, like for independent people, she don't represent you, but she's so kind because what she says is, I posted on my website, so she has a lot of actors that go to her website, and so some of those people came, and a couple other. We posted on some, acting websites, and in addition to that, we had auditions, and we also took video auditions, and I just sort of looked at who fits that character, the best, and I in my head had a sort of vision for what I wanted, and then most of it you got.
It kind of comes together like a puzzle.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Because I
actually had a young lady that I wanted to play the lead because I had just seen her in a play locally, and she was, amazingly strong.
Okay.
Jamar Smith ended up getting the role because one, she had the flexibility.
Right. Okay.
But one of the things that was most impressive is she did a video audition first. And so I called her and I said, we would like to have a in-person audition. Well, when she came to that audition, do you know she had the script memorized?
Wow.
So for me, it's not just about the talent, it's about the dedication.
That's right.
And I think
commitment.
The commitment, dedication, and for her to, she only had the script for a day or two.
Wow.
So to have that script memorized, I knew that she would be willing to go. Even if it wasn't perfect, she was going to be willing
to go to 9 yards.
Do the work,
right.
And she kept, and she's so cute, she would say, Tomeka, are you happy with it? And so I was, but that was the journey of our cast.
And having been on a set with Tomeka and others that were around her, they're very professional women. They handle the set like you are on a real, it is real, but it's one of the big production movie sets because at first you're thinking, you go on, you just gotta, but they were professional. They did all the, action and all, right.
Let me tell you what's funny is because I'm a nerd by heart, and so I self-study even though I didn't go to film school.
Right.
I have a ton of film books, and so Tivia,
Ray
and I, we sort of started this journey together, and we bought all these production books, so we didn't know what we were doing. We were just following the instructions.
Like me, right? Listen,
what?
Like
you're
nobody would have knew until you told
them. This is how you
out.
break down your script.
Right.
This is how you.
Okay.
So that was the only way we knew because we didn't at that time know people that were creating films.
Right.
So we were just buying the books. This is how you do it, and so it created, which I'm glad in a way because we could have shadowed someone that did not do it that way, and so.
But self-taught, you committed to it, right?
Yes.
And I wouldn't have known that. So you told me because I'm thinking, okay, this is the first time I'm on a set. I didn't know, but you all were on point. You were on task. They did location shots, and you had to go to certain locations and meet up and different things. So it takes a lot of work, but it's you have to have a lot of passion to do it because there's a lot of long hours.
Absolutely.
You all had people come on and donate, food and everything and time. So, but I want you to speak to, I see where you have another project that's coming up, a documentary entitled, Laughing in the Dark. Tell us, because I was curious about the title, so tell us more about that. Yeah.
Laughing in the Dark is going to be, I'm still in the research development phase of that. It's a documentary that was inspired by my own season in life.
Okay.
When I turned 40, I had like a little breakdown because I thought I would be married, have children at this point, and I got really depressed.
Right.
And so I had to go to therapy to get myself balanced. But as I was going through the healing journey, God gave me this vision. I was wide awake just like I am now, but it was a black cover.
Right.
And the bottom third of the cover was like a smile of a clown with the white powder around it. He gave me the red, the title was in red fonts.
Right.
and it was laughing in the dark. And so when I went back to my therapist, I was like, I got this vision, you know what? But I knew immediately it was about depression.
Right.
And so I went. She was like, yeah, because we mask depression. So
yes, we do.
I want to sort of tackle, like, you know, people who are shakers and movers who mask depression but also deal with suicide.
Yes.
Because especially in the African American community,
we don't
talk about it.
We don't go to therapy.
Even when we don't want to go to therapy, we don't
it's a
definitely
stigma.
don't want to take
right.
medicines if needed,
Right.
because sometimes there's chemical imbalances. And but also after that, almost every week, and so ironically, when I was working with Cox, Kevin Hornsby was, I love him. He was my supervising producer over there, and so he called me. He said, Tomeka, I have this story I want you to do. I know you can handle it. So I went out and we did covered the suicide walk.
Right,
as a reporter.
As a reporter.
Yeah,
right.
and so we covered the suicide walk in Virginia Beach, and I was like, oh
Is
my
it
God.
Mount Trashmore?
Yes. And it was just so amazing, and you know, like it was like you watching like all these hundreds of people out there that are there because they lost someone to suicide.
Absolutely.
And it's preventable.
Absolutely.
You know, it just requires some, you know,
some care and
yeah.
concern. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think particularly for Black women, because we carry so much.
Yes.
We don't
the weight of the
sit
world.
down and say, let me take care of me.
Right.
And so that was like, so that's the vision for that. And then I don't know if you saw, like a few months ago, there was, I forget her name, but she was a judge in New York, and they found her in the Hudson River.
Yes,
and
I did see that.
Originally,
yes.
you know, people thought it was foul play.
Right, they
she
did.
Was very
A
hard
light-skinned
on the
older
police.
woman.
Yep.
Right, I remember that.
But later, as you
they found a note. Then they found
she had been suffering from depression,
yes.
and her family validated that, you know, she had been
yes.
suffering from depression. I don't know the end result, what totally
right.
happened, but originally, a lot of people, you know, I don't think she would have done that, you know.
Right, because she was so strong. She was a judge. Right. You know, she had everything going. I read the whole thing. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
But in our community, we don't believe that people get to that
we
place
know how
that
to
can break,
yes.
and we know how, like you said,
right.
we know how to mask
it. Right.
You know.
And oh God, I was. You know what, Lord, I'm going to go into prayer right now. Lord, we just thank you for this whole episode right now that you have brought to the forefront. But this young woman here is bringing so much to the people, and she's transparent. Father God, we just thank you right now, because you don't know how many healing vibes that are going out to people, including those in this room. So, Father, we just thank you right now in the name and through the blood of Jesus. But, Father, we know that you have a plan for each of us. We were talking before we went on air. There's an organization called NAMIC. It's the National Association for Multi-Ethnicity in Communication. Say that 3 times.
Okay.
National Association for Multi-Ethnicity in Communications. The host and I went to an event, and they had a major event in New York just recently with P. Diddy, and he has his own network called Revolt.
Yes.
And we had the women here.
Wow.
They started the chapter here for people just like you.
Right.
Because they said you have to go to Atlanta, New York, or the major hubs to get some networking done. They're doing their thing. They're getting people signed up. I gave you the brochure. You can look it up, and they connect people with people like P. Diddy.
You have to connect us.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I will definitely do that. And actually, they're out of Cox Cable. That's the other connection I wanted to say. Cox Cable, because we went to the Cox Cable building in Chesapeake. Awesome. They had a big event there, and they talked about, they had an actor who had a journey and a story, and he told his story at that event. And so saying that, we need to always network. We don't know how this is going to, especially our communities, because situations like you're talking about with depression and suicide and aging out of a foster care system, we need more awareness brought to that. This new project you're talking about, Laughing in the Dark, Lord knows what that's about, in the name and through the blood of Jesus. So I thank you, because we don't want to talk about these things. Nevertheless, putting it out on film or in a documentary form, Ava DuVernay talked about that as well. She said that we need more in our community telling our stories.
Absolutely.
Because, they're told, but not by us.
Right.
Because we sit back and let other people tell them.
So, let's dive into where you are, when your movie's going to be coming out.
Yep.
Okay.
When people can see it, or get tickets, or
So this is the complicated part. I don't know yet. We are doing the film festival circuits right now.
Okay.
And then so I'll keep you guys connected, and then I'll let you know, and then hopefully I can come back and talk about
no question. Follow up.
when we have like a screening or something scheduled here, because I plan to do a screening here once we get through the festival circuits.
And so how now the process for that? And we're looking. I'm going to keep up with the time, but the process for submitting your films to festivals. Tell people about that, because once you produce it and you get all that together. I told you I had a girlfriend that's doing the same thing in New York. She's a playwright, social worker by day, playwright by night.
Yes, that's our journey.
Yeah, it's a journey, right?
This is my first time submitting to festivals, so I'm learning a lot as I go.
Okay.
You have to. It's a lot of planning.
Okay.
And you really need to know in advance that this is the path.
Now, how do you find
take.
out about the?
There's sites like there's Without a Box, and there's also Film Freeway, and so that's where most of the festivals submit submit their I guess notice that you can apply. I forget the technical term. And so you just pick the ones you want to go through, and there's a strategy, because you can't. I mean, like, it's so many of them.
Is it a fee or?
Yes, it's a fee. Most of them are fees. Sometimes you get lucky, you might get a waiver on a couple, but for the most part, there's a fee, and that's the other part. It's expensive, because you can spend $45 or $30 per festival that you apply for.
Right.
So you have to be sort of strategic. When I first started, it was like, I want to do Sundance, and I still applied because it's like
that's the one. Why not?
But you got 40,000. I mean, you got like I don't remember the number.
But you
it's
know
like
what? God is in control. Yes.
But also, what I want to, this is just like following Ava, DuVernay, because I look at her stuff a lot. One of the things that helped me to restructure my process is understanding who's your audience.
Right.
And so instead of trying to focus on the bigger picture, sometimes you have to start here and branch out.
Work out.
Yeah. And so if you can build a community through some of the smaller festivals, why not?
Right. Now, Dream Maker was sharing with me that you were saying the Sundance, film festival, but there was two gentlemen that they broke out in those film festivals. They didn't think the same way. They thought the same way, and they didn't think their film was going to be picked up. What was the film? I can't remember what it was. Actually, they're now, and it's mostly inspirational films that they're producing. Their names are going to come to me. We were talking about it. And they didn't feel like that. So, you know what? Sometimes go for the big dream, because it's not about dreaming.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm going to try back up
yes,
Sunday.
yes,
but I'm not limiting myself just to the bigger ones.
Okay.
I'm doing some small ones, some big ones. And I'm also, you have to draw a line, set boundaries. So, like, I've submitted to quite a few, and I'm still waiting. If I get to the point where we are not accepted, then my plan is to go into the community.
Right.
Because it's really not about whether you win festivals or not. It's getting eyes on the project.
That's right.
So for me, I'd rather show it to, even if it was very minimal or free, show it to a group of people that may not know about youth aging out of foster care, because the goal for me is to bring awareness. And if you can have one person that can change, either, let's say hypothetically, when that child turns 18, they say, you know what, you don't have to leave. Even though I'm not going to get a check, we're going to create a plan. Because sometimes I think even the foster parents don't think about what happens.
No, they really, I don't think
you know
they
what I mean?
do.
And so, like, if we can change a person's heart in one way or another, or help someone that's the social worker that said, let me help guide this child to be prepared for the exit, that exit of aging out of the system. So, I just want to start that conversation and bring awareness. So I'm not necessarily sold just on festivals, because there's a lot of people out here that won't even go to festivals.
But you know what? But the next step program, that's what you're really saying. Because, all right, I'm in foster care. Once I reach the age of 18, there has to be a next step program. Where are those developed?
They do have some. Right. And we've been blessed, because we're and I haven't been soliciting them yet, but like there's a Becoming Families. We're going to be at their
I saw that on your
fundraiser event. She's going to show the movie there and have our two ladies who aged out, and myself and the lead character will be there, so we'll get the opportunity to
now,
share
will that be open to the public to come?
Yes,
see?
it will.
Okay, okay.
That
and
will.
you'll share that with
That's
us.
in May.
Okay.
And then like there's the Age Out Institute. They found me online and they shared our trailer on their website.
Okay. And I did see that on your website.
Yeah.
There.
So
Okay.
so they're, like I said, I haven't started working that strategy yet, but I'm going to, but I'm one person, so I gotta.
But you guys, like you said,
build a
strategic
team to help me do it. So yeah.
And the gentleman we were talking about that was at this NAMIC, his name is Carlos Avilias. He actually spoke, and he had a journey and a story, but he got connected with Denzel on a movie. He was in the movie Flight, right? Flight. Yeah. And he said it was difficult, but Denzel was like, was a mentor to him. So you don't ever know who knows whom that God will connect the dots. Although the dots may be all the way over there, God knows how to put that line together. I said, Matthew, to integer line, and all the dots will connect. Yeah. So this piece will connect with something else. Oh, I saw that young lady on this. Right. Maybe we can kind of reach out to her. Yeah. And so we're going to keep saying her name.
Tomeka Winborne.
Yeah, and Ava
DuVernay. Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the things that has been on my heart is just be ready.
Just be ready. That's
continue
right.
to do the work.
That's right.
And
absolutely.
because I do believe, I don't believe that God gives me such passion to do it for it to just stay in my computer on YouTube.
To stay in a little box.
Yeah, I believe that it's gonna. I will get to reach a larger audience, but I have to be ready.
Right.
So while I'm working on this, I'm already working on the next thing and trying to be ready so that when the opportunity comes, I'm ready to take
That's
it.
right, ready to take it.
You have to be prepared,
yes.
because it's no sense of wanting to do something, and when the opportunity comes, and you're not ready for it, you're like, oh, I thought you was a movie star. No, okay, you wasted my time. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to be prepared.
But it's paying dues.
If everybody could do it, then the door will be open for everybody.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people think they can, but when the opportunity comes, they found out they weren't ready.
That's right.
They weren't prepared.
That's right.
They took time out and caused a chain reaction that didn't lead anywhere.
Absolutely.
So you have to put the work in order to get the reward.
Exactly.
Rewards ain't just handed out.
No, it's not.
And sacrifice.
We see the Grammys, the Oscars.
Yeah.
We see all those awards. Everybody don't get them,
No.
and some people been working years and never get an award, but they put the work in.
Yes, and I'm okay with honestly, if we get an award, I'm like, yeah.
Golden Globe.
That's not why I do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I really want to change hearts. I want to create work that can inspire, motivate, educate people, and I also want to create character. Like when I think about my friends now, there's a lot more positive content out. But when I first started the journey, you had all these reality shows, all these women acting crazy. That's not even. I don't see that with my friend circle. And so I want to show that. I do know some really great black men. They're not all thugs. They're not all, So I want to show these perspective of our world that is not all stereotypes of what Hollywood sometimes. Like I said, they are doing better now. But there's still so many stories for us to share and tell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I haven't, the title that the reason why you say you're doing it, timed out. I mean, I ain't never heard of that.
You're aged out.
Aged out. I'm sorry, aged out. I never heard of it. So, if you didn't come along to do this,
that's right.
There's a segment of people that don't know what that means.
Absolutely.
They've been saying, "You saying aged out? What are you talking about?"
And so let me
I can't go to the club. I can't go get lit tonight. I can't turn it up. I can't.
It's not lit.
I can't do the twerk. What are you talking about?
And so that's true because when you say aged out, it's very few people that even know. Like when I talk about it, they say, "Oh, that's what you mean by aged out." And yes, at a certain age, different states. In some states it's 18, some states it's 21.
Yes.
Some states have raised the limit over the last couple years. But for a long time, it was 18. When they age out of foster care, if they didn't have a pathway to college, they sometimes would go to like a group home or transitional home.
Right.
But that period was still short. And then after that period, it's like, okay, sorry, bye.
Right, you're on your own.
You're on your own.
Right.
And how many kids that are raised in two-family households are prepared at 18 to live on their own?
Absolutely not.
So if you've been in the system and you have abandonment issues and you don't have someone
And
to
it
guide you,
manifests in so many ways.
how can you expect these children to be ready?
Right.
You know, and just
they
to
on the
tag,
street.
let me add this too. They're the #1 targeted group for sex traffickers.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they know they don't have, and oftentimes, unfortunately, these kids have been abused sexually. So if you're sexually abused, you're detached from sex and love. So when someone says, I can make sure you have some food, I can make sure you have something to eat,
Right, I'll
I can
take
make sure
you
you
in,
have clothes,
yeah.
you just got to sleep with this person. They're like, oh, this is nothing. I've been doing that anyway.
Always,
This nothing. You know, so we have to look at, as a community, there's a responsibility that we have to bring awareness, because they don't have a voice to fight for themselves.
Right. That's
They're
right.
children. They're even at 18,
And they're
21, they're
vulnerable.
vulnerable,
Right.
and they're already broken and bruised at sometimes. So it's our responsibility to bring that voice for others to know about it. But now, the more people like us that know about it, then we can go to our senators and
Congressmen
and say, hey, what are you doing? And you can form a coalition of people to say, look, we got to do better in this area. Because I remember one time I was listening to a forum after Trayvon Martin, I know we're close to time, was killed, and I remember Kenny Alexander and Bobby Scott, they had a forum.
Right, I remember.
And he said, like, we get so many bills on our desk, we're going to look at the ones who are making the most noise.
That's right. The loudest
so
voice.
we got to start making noise about this issue so that there can be a pathway, across the country.
Right.
That, will
and
help
it's
these
and
children.
across the board that there's something being done in each state that is complimentary, because
Yes,
and
and
consistency, because like I told you, the young man that I knew many moons ago, middle school, I didn't think about that. That's exactly what happened to him.
Right.
And what happened to him, and he had to do a lot of different things.
I've had so many people say that to me. It's like, oh my God, I knew somebody just like
that. I'm like, wow, when I read this story, I was so glad to hear it.
Well, the clock on the wall saying it's that time, y'all. If people want to contact you, is there information or website they can?
My website is Tomeka Winborne, and that's TOMEKAWINBORNE.com. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn under Tomeka Winborne.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure you use the OMEK.
That's right. That's right.
I just want to say it was a pleasure to have you over.
For having me.
And we learned something today that we weren't aware of.
Great.
And hoping that it reaches out and touch the people that was viewing as well. But nevertheless, we're going to continue to do our best. Melovee, if you have anything else, closing words to say.
As always, blessings, Melovee. Until next time.
Well, at the clock on the wall saying it's been fun, but it's our time to run. But remember, we'll be back here next Tuesday on the Let's Get Praise Music Ministry and the best of the 757 Community Talk from 11 until 1. And remember, love yourself, put God first, and everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's all in what you think about yourself. Remember that, because today's world, we need love, and we need a better way of understanding what each individual is going through. To those that have lost their lives out in Las Vegas, over 500 and some people in the hospital, we want to say to all those who are trying to make a better world for our future generation, until the next time we meet, this is the Dream Maker. Until next time.
that goes.